Hey everyone, and welcome to Authors and Dragons Side Quest, the every other week non-game where we do various things, including sometimes talk about games. And there's no coincidence that I'm mentioning that because tonight we're gonna take a look back on our soon-to-be finished game, Salty Bastards. My name is Rick Gualtieri, and joining me today are Steve Wetherell and Robert Bevan. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello,
I
friends.
should point out this is technically not a side quest. This is a Salty Bastards interlude.
Oh.
We don't have many professional standards, Rick.
Oh,
but we got to keep them up.
Just forget about that introduction I gave.
Oh no, I'm not changing it. I mean, I don't care that much.
Oh no, I'm not telling you to change it. I'm telling the people at home to forget about what I just said.
Yeah.
And I said interlude.
You do the edit in your mind. I'm not doing it. What do you think I am? Yeah, we've come to the end of. It's weird. Salty Bastards was always kind of I guess we just did it as a little palate cleanser because we've been doing the main game for so long. But because we only ever did it monthly, and because we just kind of like put it down and come back to it now and then, we did it a good couple of years. I mean, this has gone through 3 states. We've toured this bad boy. This is Nashville, Charlotte, Portland. We brought Jawsera to all those fine places.
With some big, pauses in between, which I firmly admit a good deal of that was like my fault. I kind of burnt out last year after we did one game, and it was just like I couldn't wrap my head around DMing. It happens.
That's why I never started.
but yeah. Salty Bastards started off. It was supposed to be just kind of like a short thing. Brian Moss, just to take a look behind the scenes, was basically based off of the salt marsh with everything radically changed because I made that mistake with Toreg and I wasn't making that mistake again.
yeah. Fuck with it as a case.
You called it and I forgot how you introduced it. A palate cleanser, but I thought of it more like we thought one game isn't enough. We want to grow, we want to expand, and then we took on a little bit more than we could chew.
Yeah, I think we forgot we're all massively disorganized and incompetent. That was the problem.
Well, here's the thing. It's not even the disorganization, but also the characters quickly caught on and became iconic A&D characters. Like I mean, come on, it was only a few games in where suddenly Jorcerer is our is one of our flagship characters.
He was an overnight sensation. Which, when you consider how we came up with the characters, because I remember this was back in a Q&A ages ago. I think it may be like 2nd, 3rd season. And they're like, what kind of backup characters do you have? I was like, I don't know. Stan Dan Deliver. Bevan was like, I don't know. Jawsera the Sorcerer. It's like, that's stupid. We'll never do that.
And then like another class of Drew's Metallicazam, which pretty much was like I've always felt was his revenge against me inflicting him with Silas.
I think Drew, for the entire campaign, in fact, I think, and this wouldn't be beyond Drew, I don't think, that the entire campaign was just his plan to say, fuck you guys for a change. Just to put the boot on the other foot and kick you in the balls with it. Just blow off some steam. Because you don't come up, a happy man doesn't come up with Metallicazam.
But I love the fact that you guys stayed on the rails until you got off the ship. Like for those of you familiar with Salt Marsh, there's a lot of political intrigue where you get there and you're supposed to like be dealing with like the townsfolk and like the factions and stuff. And my plan was to follow that loosely.
Rick, I felt so sorry for you in that courtroom scene. You clearly set up all these options for us. And we were like, oh, so many options. Let's set fire to the courthouse.
Well, it became. Well, here's the thing. After a while, it just became this running joke. Like when you got off the ship, there was this quagmire of like you found out that you were transporting slaves, but it was like there was like a test to like to test your loyalty with the town, but it was like sanctioned, and you guys basically sunk the ship, murdered the slaves, killed everybody on board. and from there on in, it basically like it was almost like a challenge to me of like, okay, let me give you guys moral quandaries and see you make the absolute worst decisions possible.
It was a classic example of how good intentions can go drastically wrong if you don't have any plan or, I guess, coordination. But yeah, it was just immediately Rick would put us in a moral quandary, and either Metallica, Zam, or Cal would just immediately murder something. It's like as a solution.
I'd be dropping hints to Cal, like, yeah, you know, you're supposed to be lawful good, and this is the law.
He doesn't care. He's high as shit. He doesn't know what's going on.
I gotta say, watching Joe cut loose as Cal was like, especially kind of like, you know, he was playing straight man for like so long as Bjorg it was just hilarious to watch.
It was. I do think it was a good team. I think we have Metallica, Zam. We've all got a real talent for coming up with stupid names and brilliant characters.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I do. And again, I don't know what it is. I don't know how you managed this, Bevan, that everybody understood what Jawser the Sorcerer was like as soon as you opened your mouth. I don't think they even needed to see the character artwork. They're just like, I don't know. It's like you spoke him into being.
And there was a certain brilliance of like, you know, of looking at the game board, and you all have Hero Forge characters, but then there's Jorceru's like token.
That's yeah, that's the spirit of Jorcer.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm not doing all that effort. I'm going to draw this character in 5
Salty
seconds.
Bastards was like a live action performance. It'd be like one of those 60s Disney movies where one of the characters is animated. Pete's Dragon, but it's Jawser. Yeah, it was needlessly chaotic, and it just didn't stop either. It's like it just immediately pedal to the metal.
Oh my god! Yeah, there was really no downtimes in Salty Bastards. There was always like, yeah, you're right. It was like from one bit of chaos to the next, and driven entirely by you guys just being completely unrelenting.
I always thought that. I'm playing a rogue. Got so much intrigue and diplomacy. If only I had like 5 minutes between murders to actually think of a plan.
It probably was. It definitely wasn't helped because, like, I don't know. I guess I come from some kind of George R. Martin school, where like, you know, even the good normal peasants all have this dark underbelly. Like, it's like a Stephen King novel where like you read it and like and like every kindly old uncle is a pedophile. Like, you know.
Well, that's good. That means you feel less guilty when they inevitably get caught in the crossfire.
Except for that one guard you guys killed. He didn't deserve it.
Well, he was there. Wrong place, wrong time. Yep. Which just happened to be every place and time we were present at. Oh, well.
So what were some of your guys' like, I guess, most fun moments?
I think when I rolled really well to convince that character, I reminded him of his dad. I was like, I tried to like pull a few diplomacy moves throughout the game. Most of them blew up immediately in my face.
Yeah, didn't Cal walk by him and just snap his neck?
It just kind of like, I was really convincing this guy. I was dying of a heart attack. I was appealing to his paternal absence in his life. Really won him over. And then, Alphonse just came up behind him and snapped his fucking neck.
I think my favorite was the courtroom. I had this big escape plan worked out in my head, and like I fucked it up every step of the way, but somehow kept going one step forward. All right, I want to cast this spell. You don't have any components. shit, I need a little bit of iron. Can I bite my arm and get some blood? Okay, but you're gonna take damage. Fine.
That makes sense.
All right, the spell works. I forget what the spell was or what I wanted to do with it. But
You shrank yourself.
Yeah, all right.
We never figured out what
I
your
shrank
end game
myself.
was.
And I was able to escape my bonds that way.
I see.
I don't remember. Like I was gonna go take a hostage, and that I forgot what happened then, but that absolutely did not work.
No. All I remember is, I think it was Joe saying, "Hold me closer, tiny Jawser," and that just haunting my dreams for a while. I think I tried a couple of diplomacy moves that rarely worked out, but because I liked playing something other than a monk, because I had a couple more options, because Stan was swashbuckler / bard, so I got to play with a few magic spells, and casting minor illusion, which I thought was just kind of a crap spell, but you can have a lot of fun with it in game because you can basically make anything appear. In my case, it was Jawster taking his shit twice. But in both instances where I used it, it worked perfectly. They were quite rightfully distracted and horrified by this image I had conjured of Jawster taking his shit on the floor. It was possibly the most tactical thing I've ever done in game. I was well pleased with myself.
I remember, like about halfway through the game, I reached out to Bob and I was like, "Hey, Bob, what's like Jorster's backstory?" And you gave it to me, and I was pretty much just like, "Yeah, fuck it. You got these cousins. We're coming after you."
That was a surprise turn up. That was at Charlotte, I think, live.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys dropped. So I think people listening to the audio, they didn't experience the graphic unveiling of the Jawser family, which was a shame. It was a sight to behold. Should have been there. Electric in the moment.
As I said, I kind of burnt out last year and just all over. Like I dropped out of like the other game I was playing, and I needed like a mental break. But the reality is, I had a lot of fun DMing this game because you guys very much did keep me on my toes. So every game I came in with a whole shit ton of maps, being like, okay, I might need one of these.
Keep you on your toes. Drew went into that game with the sole aim of destroying you, Rick. I'm convinced.
Psychic damage.
Yeah. I just loved his solution to, like I said, the slave ship coming up from below, burning a hole through the bottom, sinking it, drowning all the damn slaves.
I mean, he did stop the slave ship.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
just resting on the corpses of a lot of slaves, I guess. But oh well, it was a victory of sorts. I think that's one of the main things I'm going to regret about Salty Bastards coming to its end. Is we never really sat Metallica Zam down and said, "What is your fucking deal, man?" Well, there are a few hints.
I don't think any of us were in any position to do that.
Yeah. Well, I love the fan theory that was out there that Metallica Zam is some future incarnation of Silas reimplanted in a robot body.
Because I'm sure Drew had a backstory for the guy. He kept hinting at things that were quite intriguing. That he was sent there by the Crown. But no, I guess we'll never know. Unless it all comes blurting out in the final episode. Like, if it's just the final episode is just 40 minutes of Metallica Zam saying, "Well, I was born a poor robot to a human family."
Oh, that would be great. Like, the final episode is just a 40-minute Metallica Zam like soliloquy. It's like, your 6 seconds in this battle are up. You know that, right?
Yeah. Who knows how it's going to end? That's
I do.
Looking forward to it. Well, yeah.
No, I don't, because who the fuck knows that you guys are going to...
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen, Rick. Your best laid plans of DMs fall to ashes at the feet of a bizarre, psychotic robot and his pedophile friend.
Oh my god, I put so much work into like those various townsfolk and stuff. There was
to our credit, we did interact with them all.
Yeah. We touched him.
Like, there was
A
actually
lot.
a backstory, and since we're probably never going to get to it, I can just tell it. There was a backstory where if you guys hadn't just ruined everything and become like outlaws and become like wanted men, there was essentially a backstory that was going to be that was it God, I forgot what I called them. It was like the the way of the sloth, who were basically the temple of the many fists, like arch enemies. Of like pretty much a bunch of guys who like just believed in taking over the world in the laziest fucking way possible.
I could get behind that. Probably
So
put that on the back burner.
they were infiltrating town, and since you guys weren't there to stop them, my assumption is eventually they won.
Eventually, they got round to it, I guess. Playing the long game.
The last member of our opposition finally died of old age, so I guess that leaves us.
Victorious. I'm just going to say, we were talking about the possibility of an A&D art book. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think some of my favorite art from the last Chronicles of Calamity, because we've done 3 issues now, if you don't know, when we release these comics on Indiegogo, you can back them, you get perks, and we do postcard art, like original art, JLD. The comics are great, but some of the original art he came up with the characters is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I got to say, some of my favorite ones, because we'd already done the main characters twice, before we'll do Salty Bastards. And the Salty Bastards character art was pretty sweet.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the A&D artwork was, or the original Calamity artwork was really good. There was a lot of like browns and grays, and like JLD like went nuts with the colors. Like like Metallica Zams is like blues and stuff. I have like yellows. Like all of them are like super bright and like and cheery, despite the fact that there's like a hint of disturbing to all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of the comic, one thing I tried to do sprinkle in as a DM was I was taking like like cues from things you had written in the comic, like the Kingdom of Zamel, things like that, and making sure that like I mentioned that so anybody with like sharp ears, which turned out to be nobody, would realize, okay, these are taking place in the same world.
You dropped hints, but I don't know. I think we were moving too quickly to ruminate on it as players. I'm sure the listeners have picked up on it. They're pretty good at that sort of thing.
Oh my god, there were so many times I was just like, oh, I can't wait to tell you guys this character's backstory. Nope, you're busy stabbing him.
Well, like I said, there's a lot of fast-paced, decisive characters in this one.
Oh, very, 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 very much so. And it was a good, diverse, group with regards to like the characters and such. But let's be honest, the personalities like ran the show.
Yeah, they didn't particularly gel well in overall vision, but combat-wise, if you wanted like shit destroyed, pretty effective group.
But yeah, I know we're even going forward to new games, we're not optimized players. It's more about the personalities. But I found Salty Bastards to be a transitional period for me, like going from the original game where Klaus Richter would just pee on something or masturbate most of the time. Part of most of Jorcer the Sorcerer was a silly name I came up with on the spot, and then the picture I drew. But while we were moving on to that game, that's when I started really building up my website and actually educating myself on a lot of these things. And was like, well, you know what? I'm a spellcaster now. I've been learning about all these spells. Maybe I should put some effort in. And so I did try to pick spells that I don't typically use, or like I picked Sleet Storm instead of Fireball as a 3rd level spell, which is regrettable and objectively the wrong decision. But it was fun for me to try some new things and actually put a little effort in, and I look forward to more of that.
Well, we definitely saw the growth because I remember our very first battle, me asking you what your fucking armor class was, and you were like, "Where's that?" And I'm just like, just like, I quit now.
Well, that's the thing. I'm glad you picked Sorcerer spells based on whether there is a humorous angle to using the spell.
Yeah, that's another reason as well. I tried to pick spells that I could make sound dirty.
Yeah, I don't want a super competent Sorcerer. That'd be
No.
to me.
That was never the aim. I just, more competent than Klaus.
Yeah, I mean, with Klaus, it took you 7 years to figure out how to work him properly. And then I think in the last 2 episodes, you were like a devastating sniper.
Yeah, suddenly you discovered, like, sneak attack, and it's like Klaus does 72 damage.
What? No, it wasn't sneak attack. It was
what?
Yeah. What did I discover? Oh yeah, I figured out how crossbow expert works. Yeah. And I was taking
Klaus does 72 damage. What, to his own dick? What do you mean? What's going on? But yeah, you were mopping up in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was
probably
fun.
Could have done that at any time.
Well, then that wouldn't have been
as fun. No, it was a nice reveal at the end.
It's like, how come you haven't done this before? Oh, I was hoping you'd all die.
I like to think that it just took him that long to sober up.
7 years later. Oh, that's how this crossbow works.
He's finally not seeing 2 of everything. Yeah. I don't know. A very competent Sorcerer, that's worrying to me. The world doesn't need that. It's too much.
Don't worry.
Devastatingly effective is not something I want to put in the same sentence as Sorcerer to Sorcerer.
There's some roads that should not be traveled. No, I'm looking forward to playing alongside, alongside Sorcerer as Moog and Stan as well.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I suppose if people have been paying attention, if you're listening to this and you're not part of our Facebook group, or even better, part of our Discord for just $5 a month.
Spoilers.
Yeah, there's some spoilers. Well, the art's out there now, and it is very good art. So if you haven't seen it yet, get on the Facebook, or even better still, get on the Discord. Give us money, get exclusives, hang out, stop being lame. And so we've done some artwork in preparation for the new game. We can't tell you, spoiler alert for the end of Salty Bastards, I get, or possibly not. Anything can happen in a world of wild magic. There will be a couple of returning characters. We shall be seeing Moog Face Eater from QFC, who last you saw was murdering a princess with an exploding rock, I believe. We will be seeing the return of Sorcerer the Sorcerer and Stan Dandyliver, although what shape they will be in and what has happened to them remains to be seen. And we'll also be seeing a recurring character for Jane's fans. If you've been wondering what Claudia, the Lady of Layers, is up to, we shall see. And Drew will be joining us with a brand new character you've never seen before. So be excited for that.
I'm be curious to see if he's even more nihilistic than Metallicazam.
It's just years have just made him more bitter.
Then years have just made him more bitter.
Yeah, Gibby's going to be DMing. As far as I know, Gibby hasn't done anything to piss Drew off yet, but maybe he'll just come in with another fucking murder robot, just a horse-shaped one this time.
He just walks in there, he's just eating a small child.
Look, Drew spends all his time being a nice guy. He needs a release now and then. So Dicey Bastards. We don't have a start date yet, but I guess in the spring. Watch for our coming. I should have said that in a Sorcerer voice.
Yeah. No, maybe you shouldn't have said that.
No, voice. I probably shouldn't have. That would be too much. These people deserve better from me.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss the town of Brine Moss, but
what's left of it?
Yeah, what's left of it? But at the end of the day, it didn't quite go out that way. But I was thinking if we went into a second season, it would be more of it would be more centered around the Hall of Flesh and dare I say, fleshing out that a little bit more. But you've already ruined that part.
Yeah, perhaps it's for the best then. The adventures of 5 men who lived in a penis-shaped tower.
Yep. Well, I didn't get to ruin it in the way I wanted to.
No, that would have been spectacular.
And with that, I'm kind of grateful.
I got it, Rick. We didn't ask you. What was your standout moment of the campaign?
That little side adventure where you guys were underwater.
Oh yeah, the giant,
Yeah.
the giant toilet beast.
The toilet shark that you had to fight. That was that was a lot of fun because it was pretty much like the town was just like, okay, we have a job for you, and if you die, that's okay.
This was our chance
preferable.
This was our chance to ingratiate ourselves with the townsfolk. Didn't work out that way, obviously.
Nope.
But yeah, that was a good one. That was unusual and unexpected monster to be fighting. No one came out of that one clean.
Yeah. But as I said, there was it was fun for me, just just seeing where you were every week and just trying to bring enough stuff with me for each game, so you guys had plenty of paths to to choose from. Trying to have some of the NPCs guide you slowly on rails, and then immediately jumping the tracks and going off in a different direction. You're like, all right, let's see what happens here.
I don't think it helped that we took an immediate dislike to every NPC we came across. Pink Slip, for example.
Poor Pink Slip.
I don't know what John's problem with Pink Slip is, but he was determined to murder that frogman.
I maintain Pink Slip was the victim here.
So Rick was like, hey, here's this wacky NPC I came up, but we were like, nah, let's kill him. He's got to die.
It was one of the most memorable NPC.
He was. Everyone liked Pink Slip.
Yeah.
But a difficult voice to do for a long time, I should imagine.
Yeah. And what sucks is I don't know if I can do that voice again, because I wound up with COVID at the beginning of the year, and afterwards, my voice, I can't get my voice to go up that high anymore. So maybe it's for the best.
Oh, it would be a shame if we don't get to see John murder that frogman, who we really didn't have a reason to dislike that guy as much as we did. But then again, I don't think there was a single NPC we met who we didn't try to kill. So I guess that's just the breaks.
It's funny, he was probably the only NPC who really didn't have a deep, dark secret. I mean, he was basically essentially the town's slave, and you just showed up and started immediately kicking him.
Everybody else just a lackey doing his job. We're like, fuck this guy.
But yeah, I definitely George R. Martin, a lot of the NPCs, or it's every time you'd meet somebody and you'd get in good with them, and then they'd be like, yeah, well, it's like, hey, let's go and set orphans on fire now. So I just it almost became a running joke, like I said, giving you guys those moral quandaries of you could go this direction and it's bad, or you could go this direction and it's worse, and then watching you guys pretty much choose the far worse option.
You don't know what worse means.
I'll show you how bad this can get. Yeah, I do feel bad. It's like there was a lot of intrigue around, and we were very much about fuck that intrigue, let's kill this NPC. But we progressed us through the game. One dead bureaucrat at a time. Until I don't think we met anyone significantly more awful than we are until Jorsera's family ambushed us. I think it was Whiter the Fighter. Everyone was like, oh dear.
I was coming up with various rhymes there, and I came up with that one. I was like, that's awful. I gotta put that one in.
Yeah, you can't sleep on that. It's like, what's worse than Jorsera? How about Jorsera if he was a white supremacist?
and of course, I'm pretty sure the Discord came I think if I recall, the Discord came up with the idea of Jizzard the Wizard.
Oh, that wasn't yours?
No, I saw that on the Discord, and I was at one point I was like, I got to make that a reality.
Jizzard the Wizard.
Yeah.
Oh God. There's a name to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies.
Yeah, I had a whole list that I was going through. I was like, no, okay, most of which didn't make it. It was like, okay, there was one of them was going to be Queef the Thief.
Queef the thief. Oh man, you should have kept that one to yourself. We could build an entire franchise around that, Rick. Oh man. Oh, that was a missed opportunity.
Some things you got to put on the back burner in case you need them later.
Putting the old queef on the back burner.
Paladin with a lad in his trunk. Huh?
Not only doesn't that scan well, but it's awful. It makes me feel sad. Yeah, I suppose like with the Chronicles of Calamity reaching its conclusion, the Jane's wrapped up, QFC is wrapped up. This is the last, I guess, of the OG games till we go into the new season. So it's I've enjoyed the Salty Bastards. It was always the kind of, I guess it was just kind of a nice break from playing the same character. Much as I enjoyed playing Brandon Firemaster because it's a very easy shtick to work with. It was nice to try something a bit different.
Well, the other thing is like with Chronicles of Calamity, we were doing island hopping for so long there. So that's why I kind of wanted to give you like one locale to like, to center the game in.
To destroy. To immediately exile ourselves.
Yeah. My thought was eventually you'd like, become part of the town or so. Yeah, I didn't think that one through very well.
No, that was never going to happen. But yeah, I think we kind of like I look back on the Chronicles of Calamity and like some of our seasons were like 20, 30 episodes long. Just when you think about like the Island of Champions and the Animal Island, there's a lot going on. And now that's wrapped up, and now that Salty Bastards is wrapped up, I'm kind of... I think this is as rudderless as I've felt since we started the podcast. And we've never been very ruddered as a podcast. So, it'll be interesting to see what Gibby's got for us for the next season. But I am glad we're bringing back some old favorites.
Yeah, it gives us some continuity, but it also is like, it's also kind of like a fresh start. So if any of you know anybody who's like, I would really love to listen to Authors and Dragons, but I don't want to jump into the middle of 87 episodes of a game, tell them, no, force them that this is a good place for them to start. And if they want to wet their whistle and what is it, 200 episodes or more of Chronicles of the Limit, if that's too if that's too daunting, what is there, like 16 episodes of Salty Bastards or so?
That's true. Yeah, you could binge that in a day if you try hard.
If you really hated yourself.
Yeah, if you really hated yourself. If you got a long road trip, do that. Crash your car into a tree, I suppose. I suppose Salty Bastards. We've been running it a long time, but we've been running it quite sporadically. So there is only like 17 episodes. That is quite a nice little introduction, I guess. If you're not immediately put off by Jorsera. That's the litmus test. It's like maybe 2 minutes in, Jorsera speaks, and that's when you know if you're down for it or not. That's when you find out if you're cool with what we're doing.
Salty is probably a good intro to the attitude you're going to find on the majority of the podcast. It's like 7 seasons of Chronicles of Calamity condensed down into like a bite-sized chunk.
Everything we learned over 7 years, expertly applied to fuck it up Rick's day.
What do you mean you don't know what your armor class is?
I'm not used to being attacked. Nobody attacks the masturbating rogue.
That's true. You always had your own sort of personal armor class going on. Exciting times. I'm sad. Just as I was sad to see Chronicles of Calamity come to an end, although it was, inevitable. We've been leveling up those guys for a while. It was either end it with, potentiality for it to return to it, or just keep playing until they became gods, which would have been terrible, I suppose.
That would have been
terrible for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Salty Bastards. Again, sad to see it end, but I am having fun with Stan Dandeliver, and I am glad he's going to be appearing in some shape or form in the next season.
Yeah, I'm happy to be carrying on as Jorster the Sorcerer, but someday I would like to make Father Moses Lester the cleric.
Oh no.
So
Dear God, that's out. That
If I ever have like a dark patch, if I ever feel like, oh, man, podcast is a lot of work and it's a lot of effort, is it worth carrying on? I'll say to myself, yes, because we need to get to the stage where Bevan can finally unleash the character that's going to get us arrested.
that's what finally gives us that email from from Apple Podcasts, basically saying, it's been nice, but it's not us, it's you.
It's a fair assessment.
Of course, that might be the one that finally gets us an email from Spotify and a check for 100 million. So go for it.
Who knows what the demand is these days? These crazy Gen Zers could like anything. We completely neglected to mention. I was thinking about. Sadly, we don't have a convention this year. It's just it did not stack up. There was no way we were going to be able to make it work. We'll probably do maybe a digital convention. Please do keep posted. But yeah, I think it was in Charlotte where we had the Marcher of the Sorcerers, which might be the most horrible thing I've ever seen. But it was like in a heartwarming way.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. I didn't know what to make of that. I get back from eating lunch and there's like 24 Jorster the Sorcerers there in the lobby staring at me.
There is a photo of you. Somebody took a photo of that exact moment, and you do look like you're not sure if you're awake or not.
It's like, oh God, it's happened. I've stepped into the game world. This is my punishment.
All my sins have come back to collect me.
But no, that kind of brings back to what I was saying. It's it's comparatively speaking, it's the characters of Salty Bastards became iconic to the podcast really quickly. It's like when you adopt a dog and you're not sure if it's going to fit in, and it immediately just walks in and makes itself at home, and you're like, okay, yeah, this works.
I thought you were say immediately walks in and takes a shit on the floor. Yeah, I don't know where you're coming from.
Well, if all the rest of the family are shitting on the floor, then that kind of fits in.
Yeah, I think we were saying this because we hadn't played a game. Obviously, QFC's been running for a while, so we've been leaning into that. We hadn't played as either Chronicles of Calamity or Salty Bastards for about 6-7 months. Mm. And we started playing the penultimate episode, and it was like putting on a well-worn glove. It was just so easy to roll into and bounce off each other. I guess it's just because we've been doing it for... Actually, I wouldn't even say that. We've been doing it for a while, but I think we started bouncing off each other really easily about maybe 10 episodes in, 12 episodes in. It's always felt really fucking easy to make stupid jokes with you guys.
But yeah, hopping into that Salty episode. I mean, there was the problem, the fact that what's it? Roll20 had updated 3 times since the last game you played. And it was like, what the fuck does all this do now? But technical issues are not new to Authors and Dragons. But yeah, it literally was like hopping on a bike. How quickly the banter just started flying again.
Yeah, that's
true. It's not like we haven't been playing a game or whatever, but we have been doing side quests and
that's true.
The other thing, it's not like the first time we've spoken in 6 months.
Yeah, but it was just nice to be playing. I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we work well together in a way that specifically we don't work well together. It's like a clown car, It doesn't work like a real car, but it's great if you're 50 clowns in a car. This is a terrible analogy.
And also, when we're awful in a fantasy game, there's the plausible deniability of that.
Yeah. It's a world of magic and mystery. Yeah. There's bound to be some humorous fuck-ups.
Yeah. A little harder to backpedal when we're just awful in a side quest.
Yeah, we don't have the the veneer of characters to hide behind when people figure out we're just actually awful.
No, I'm just playing Rick Waltery.
If we'd thought this interlude through, and we didn't, we would have asked the Discord people for some questions specific to the bastards. That would have been nice. But we didn't do that. But we will be taking questions in future games, so, keep on writing them in the Facebook if you're following us on the Facebook. Keep on writing them in the Discord if you're better than everyone else and following us on Patreon.
Yes, the question threads will be returning because, first of all, they're fun. They're a chance to chance to touch base with with all you guys out there listening and stuff. And they're a chance for us to sometimes take an innocuous question and just really run it completely off the fucking rails. And if you've listened to our question threads before, that's pretty much when we're best. When we just take something innocent and put a cigarette out in it.
Yeah, sometimes the most entertaining part of an episode will be somebody just asked the wrong question.
Yep.
Or, as it turns out, the right question. Just to the wrong people.
Yep.
Yeah, my favorite episodes are when I answer a question and Drew says, "Well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up there."
You always got to go out on a high.
It's a good, like my ankle bracelet is starting to ping here. I think that question violates the terms of the parole.
Well, I am excited to be playing the final episode of Salty Bastards coming soon.
Yes.
Probably after you listen to this, the next thing should be our final game. We'll see what happens to the characters. If they make it out alive, if they make it out with all their limbs, if they make it out the same shape as they started. It's been a blast, and I've really enjoyed throwing Stan into the chaos.
Our last blast is coming soon.
Oh, no. Oh. Well, at least I don't have to think of an episode title now. That'll do it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm showing up for this finale.
And, of course, no one's dying. We're not going away. We'll be starting a brand new season, DM'd by the one and only MK Gibson, who's proven his worth in QFC, Quest for Confidence. And also, if you haven't listened to it, because it did go past people's radars a little bit, the Christmas special and Battle Royale we did. Go have a search for those in the archives. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, some old favorites returning there. You finally get a chance to basically see Klaus versus Silas.
Just a standoff we'd all been waiting for.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, go check that out if you missed it. That was, I think it was about a 3-parter we did, just a little bonus one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a Christmas special as well, or a holiday special if you're American.
And hopefully you're not jinxing us, Steve, with the whole nobody's dying, because that would be just our luck. It's like the Salty Bastards finale is just so fucking hilarious that one of us just drops dead on camera.
Well, I can't guarantee it won't happen, but nor can I guarantee it will. That'd be much more sinister and probably get me arrested. So everybody stay tuned. It's going to be a fantastic finale, or, amusingly disappointing, either way. And then soon after that, something new. But with the same old dickheads you hopefully enjoy and love.
Something wicked this way comes. God, that was bad. Really shouldn't use that last word.
No, you're just setting yourself up. You should know better by now.
Should, but I don't.
All right, well, we'll wrap up there. This was just a check-in to say hi and pay attention.
Behold our wonder.
Are coming. As always, yes. Please do behold our wonder.
And thank you all for tuning in, and all of you who have been cheering along and having a good time with Salty Bastards. It was a lot of fun. Still all not dying.
I feel like one of us has to die now. Jeez.
Don't look at me. I'm like the oldest one.
Yeah, but
that's why we're looking at you.
The rest of us have made terrible life choices, so could be anyone. Find out on the next Salty Bastards. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Authors and Dragons is brought to you under a Creative Commons license, meaning you are free to share this material so long as credit is given to those who created it, which is us, the people you just heard play the game. Opening and closing themes performed by the Gore Core 4.